So now that the engine's in the car, it's looking pretty good. I got this ground strap here that goes from the frame to the block. I feel bad that that one got ripped out when I pulled the engine out of the car. So I made one out of the ground strap from the hood actually. Seems to work well. And it's nice just to have the engine in the car. Now it's at the point where I'm just plugging things in. These extra harnesses that had the fuel injector insulators in it, the little red things that go inside the fuel injectors. A lot of times these fall out when the injector gets unplugged, and I just wanted to get all those and put them in so that this car had a complete set. And so I got the radiator ready to go in, alternator, new throttle cable. Somebody said that the automatic cable's different than the manual, but in this case it doesn't seem like it's an issue. And I got the battery terminal cables all ready and the grounds for the ECU, all the wire harnesses on this side, everything plugged in, looking good. Got the power steering bracket all on there. I got these radio frequency things on there. Got the fuel rail pressure sensor plugged in now. Got the alternator harness ready to go when the alternator goes on. Got the EGR stuff all on. Got the throttle cable, cruise control, all these cables plugged in and hooked up. The harness on this side, all where it needs to go. Fuel injectors, ignition coils, everything, radio frequency thing here. Harness on the valve cover where it goes, coolant temperature sensor. Everything looking really good, and just it's easy to plug stuff in, and a lot of times the wire connector goes right where it needs to go, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. Got the clutch cable on, and transmission's all there. I got the harness on the side, everything. So trans brace on there, bolted up, everything looking good. So that's cool. Now another development that's kind of cool, a recent development, was I have come across the old listing for this car. So this is my GT. This is what it used to look like. This was back when it was for sale, before the kid who had it, who wrecked it, bought it. So this is when he bought it. This was the sales ad. And the car looked pretty good. You know, not a fan of the black hood or the headlights, but wheels are okay, rather prefer the original. Something I did notice while looking at these pictures, and I had actually seen this before, but it was good to get the picture, and I was correct. If you look at the engine, look at the oil filler cap on the driver's side. That is incorrect. That oil filler cap should be on the passenger side. So that's the older valve covers, and that sometimes happens when an engine has been replaced with a non-PI, which is performance improved engine. So sometimes somebody will get a 4.6 out of an older Mustang or an older Lincoln Town Car, older Crown Vic, and they'll replace the engine and they don't know that it's down on power. So if that's true, that could be a 225 horse engine instead of a 260 horse engine or 215 horse, depending on the year. So I noticed that, and that made me think that I probably wouldn't have wanted that engine in here anyway, if that's true. And the kid had parted the car out and he sold the engine, and I'm not sure completely, but I think I've heard that the engine that was in this car was bad anyway. They said the person who bought it had a problem with it, if that's true. Not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So I'm happy that I got the good engine I did. But anyway, looking at the other pictures of the car, I noticed that it has the same aftermarket radio that it had in it when I got it. And that replaced the Mach 460 system, and I'm going to take that all back to original because it's not wired up the way I would like it to be. But anyway, gauge cluster shows 152,000 miles, and so that's not far off from where it is now. So the car really wasn't driven a whole lot before I got it. It had a nice GT mat that was in the trunk. Too bad that's not still there. The seats looked really good in the car. The back seats looked good, and the front seats looked all right as well. So there's kind of the dash, how it looks. Too bad the airbags are blown now, but that's just the way it goes. So interior looked pretty good. It doesn't have those seats anymore, but I have a set of Mach 1 seats for it and stuff. So So that'll be all right. Now, speaking of Mustang GTs, sadly, I saw this one, and this is a 2002, so exactly the same year, zinc yellow. This one was wrecked, and they were parting it out. And I felt so bad about that because the damage was less than the damage I had on mine, and they were parting this car out. So, really sad to see. My kids and I saw this listing, and they get kind of upset and say, "Why didn't they fix it?" And I'm totally in agreement with that. They even had a blackout thing around the license plate, like the one I have used to have, but I didn't like that anyway. But yeah, this car had like 80 something thousand miles, so that's too bad that they're parting this car out when it really wasn't so bad. But anyway, that's just the update on my GT, and it's coming along nicely. It's good to have the engine in the car, having fun getting that all squared away, and that's just working out nicely. Everything's going smoothly at this point. So the hardest part of getting the engine and everything in is now over, and I'm happy about that. And so it's time to just continue and have fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the rest of the updates of this car, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.